The real reason your back pain won't go away and what to do about it. I want you to stop treating your back pain like it's a physical problem, because there's 3 critical triggers that determine exactly why you're having your chronic back pain and how to repair it. You know, I've put a lot of thought into this over my 38 years of clinical practice. Why people experience back pain. You know, people come in, sure, they come in, they lift up a big box and they experience some back pain. But for the most part, the most common reason when I sit down and chat with you and I say, why do you think you're having your back pain? They go, I have no earthly idea. It just simply showed up in my life and now it won't go away. I've narrowed this down into some solutions. Now there's 3 different types of stress that create this environment inside of us. There's physical stress, okay? There's emotional stress and chemical stress, or toxic movements, toxic thoughts, and toxic chemicals. All of these can contribute and create chronic low back pain, chronic neck pain, chronic pain syndrome. Guys, that's when I realized that there's 3 critical components that have to be addressed in order to get rid of what we call the subluxation loop. Now, a subluxation simply means the spine is out of alignment. And we can see that on the x-ray, but it's created by these 3 root causes, which we address in our office through our 5 critical essentials. So it's not just simply cracking backs to make you feel better temporarily and watching it come back. It's coming up with permanent solutions to resolve your health challenges, to restore your body back so you can get back to doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is enjoying your life. Hi, I'm Dr. Ray from Chiropractic Plus, and I'm going to break down for you specifically how these 3 components are creating your back pain, and more importantly, what's the solution and some action steps you can take right now to ensure your body restores back and we can resolve this chronic back pain that you've been experiencing for many, many, many years. Let's start with the first trigger, physical stress on the body. What does that entail? It's the things you would think of when you think about hurting your back, right? Car accidents, work injuries, falling off a ladder, picking big box, working in the yard, shoveling snow, you know, all the physical causes that can create that problem. So it's simple. You pick up the big box, you twist, and ultimately that will lead to misalignments. The misalignments damage the nerves and lead us down the path of misalignment. Now let's talk a little bit about accumulated stress, all right? Repetitive use injuries, they call it in workman's comp. Let's use a simple metaphor, all right? Let's think of a paper clip, all right? So you bend a paper clip. Now you go, oh my God, it's bent, I'm gonna bend this back, and you can still use the paper clip. Then it bends again, and bends again, and bends again, until finally, snap. That's kind of what happens with repetitive use injuries. You can have the mega traumas like a car accident or a slip and fall or a fall off a ladder, but the more common things we see are the micro traumas, like sitting in front of a computer screen for hours on end, staring at your phones, the inactivity physical nature of stress. But this is where it gets interesting. This is where stress starts to play a role in our health. Now you may be thinking to yourself, what does stress have to do with my back pain? Come on, get serious. Let's think about this, okay? And we're gonna talk about what I call the subluxation loop. Now subluxation, as I stated earlier, is a misalignment of the spine. So if you misalign the spine, you then pinch and damage a nerve. And when the nerve becomes damaged, the brain becomes concerned and goes, you know what? These nerves control things like your heart, your liver, your stomach, your kidneys, motor control. We're gonna send a signal to the muscles to protect this from getting any worse. And so what the signal goes to the muscle spasms, that pulls the bone out of alignment, which pinches the nerve, which causes the muscle to spasm, and you're stuck in that loop. The emotional stress piece ties directly to the muscles. When you feel under stress, what do you get? Tense muscles, right? And so those tense muscles are what pull the bone out of alignment, which then pinches the nerve, which then causes the muscle to pinch worse, and you got stuck in this loop. And so in order to get the corrective change you need and deserve, we can't just correct the alignment, we have to address all components of that subluxation loop and then look backwards on the particular stress that's creating, whether it's physical or emotional or chemical, which is leading us to the next cause, which is chemical stress on the body. So when the body is under chemical stress, all right, we're exposed to chemicals all the time, even within our own bodies. They're called hormones. We have all these different hormones that come in, they do their magical things, and then they go to the liver, become biotransformed and eliminated, and the next cycle comes based upon what's happening in your particular environment. Here's the struggle bug. Either we're getting abnormal hormone balancing, or we're getting exposed to outside chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, microplastics. And there's so many chemicals coming at us that are hormone disruptors. They can lead to so many things. Where this impacts our subluxation loop ties directly to the nerve itself. So let's simplify it, okay? If you drink too much caffeine, you drink 5 shots of espresso, you're bouncing, right? What does that impact? That impacts the nerve. So the nerve becomes overstimulated because the brain gets scared, muscles start to spasm, pulls the bone out of alignment, which pinches the nerve, and you're stuck in the loop. We can do the exact opposite of that. Now, caffeine is overstimulation. Alcohol is understimulation. So it's a central nervous system depressant. And so what occurs, you lose muscle tone in this case, and the muscles can't hold the bones in their alignment pattern, which then pinches the nerve, which causes the muscle to tense up. And again, guess where we are? Back in that subluxation loop. So we've got to be able to address all facets of stress and correct the subluxation loop and all of its constituents. All of these stresses simply make the problem worse. And worse, it's a vicious cycle. It just simply loops itself around and around and around, and you're stuck with chronic back pain, chronic health challenges, and just simply not enjoying life. We have to sit down and address each and every one of these issues. So it's stuck in a vicious cycle. You know, this thing, it just won't stop. And we're stuck in this chronic back pain and recurrent back pain, and we're just not enjoying our quality of life like we should. We can't enjoy our families. We can't enjoy our children. We can't go on vacations. We can't go boating. We can't go hiking. You know, just get out in the world and do the things we love, whatever that is for you. So we have to come up with a solution specifically designed with you in mind. Now, before I tell you how to break this cycle, I've attached here to this video down below a link, Breaking the Chronic Pain Cycle. I want you to download that as a free gift and begin your journey to resolve some of these issues, and we can start coming up with a strategy. So apply that right away. The other piece is you want to be scheduling time in our office. So all you need to do is contact our office. You can call the number 303-254-8430. If you'd like, you can check out our website. It's cochiropractor.com, CO like Colorado, chiropractor.com. Look around. There's all kinds of amazing information. We got some healthy recipes on there, and you can also schedule an appointment through that website as well. But let's get you started by downloading that free gift. Get the ball rolling right away. So what is the solution? See, the solution is in not just cracking your back to make you feel better. It's correcting your spinal alignment to get the nerves and the body healthy once again. So what do we use? We use structural x-rays, which are different from conventional x-ray. We're going to actually use these x-rays as a blueprint, a literal blueprint. We're going to take those x-rays. I then will analyze them in detail. 2 features. Number, exactly where the misalignments are, so I know where to move the bones and in what direction. We're going to actually know exactly where to move your particular spine, and we'll be able to see how long it's been in there based upon the decay that we see on the disc. And that'll determine how long it's going to take to get you fixed up. One of the keys I want you to realize is you can't quit your job. You can't quit your life. You can't quit many of these things that are experienced in your life. So we have to come up with strategies through various seminars and lectures and things to help you realize we can't eliminate stress, but we can change the meaning of stress. We can make it a positive instead of a negative. We got to change the way we think about stress, whether it's physical stress and better body mechanics strategies, or whether it's emotional stress through mindfulness techniques and meditation and prayer, or perhaps maybe it's the reduction of chemicals in your life, or putting better things like better nutrients, better vitamins, better minerals through various testing will determine exactly what is necessary to get you fixed up. You got to take that first action step to make those things happen. Look, I know this may seem different than anything you've experienced or heard of in your life as it relates to back pain, but isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth a change or a thought, a different way of ways of looking at things, because the struggle you've got is that you've tried all the other strategies that have been basically just managing symptoms. You see, we're going to look at it from the perspective of health. When most doctors, including other chiropractors, look at you, they look at why are you in pain and what can we do to mitigate your pain. But the problem is that's only a temporary solution, where we're going to look at the cause. We're going to look at why are you not experiencing health in your life, and find out those strategies and add those pieces back into the puzzle and literally transform your life. Now, if you're ready to understand your back pain at a deeper level and understand how to break the subluxation loop, we're going to address that in the very next video. So what I want you to do is click on that next video, watch it, and we'll investigate even deeper the levels that's necessary to break you free of this chronic back pain.